My name is Evanson Kahoro. I'm director and founder at Tender Care Junior Academy. We've been here for the last 25 years, and I would say 25 years that are fulfilling, that I feel I talk about with a lot of gratitude to the Almighty God, because indeed He's the arbiter, the ultimate authority in all human activities. So to Him we give our first priority and gratitude because of the far that He has brought us. Indeed, we started with many, but many have fallen on the wayside. But for us, He has kept us studying, and not only standing, but growing. So that's who we are. I always go back to my days in primary school. I've said before that I actually never attended preschool, where the preparation is done for learning. And having not attended nursery school, I jumped straight into Standard 1 because I had some two older siblings who were joining Standard 1 that same year. So my father said, join them. And needless to say, there were years of struggle between Standard 1 and Standard 3. And what I witnessed were teachers, I do not know what kind of training they had actually gone through. But their method, motivation, what we call motivation in learning, was just the use of the cane. So I feared my teachers. And it was by the grace of God, just before I would move to now what we'd call upper primary, that is Standard 4. In Standard 3, our teacher was transferred. And in his place, we were sent a female teacher who actually nurtured and took care of me and made me have a turnaround from the bottom of the class to the top of the class. Not necessarily the very top, but at least I was amongst the top 3 in my class. And it's just that difference of having love towards, the pupils. Because I don't think I was the only one. And this lady teacher, apparently, she was so fond of me, she followed me until class 5, when again she was transferred from my school. So for me, when I look back, I knew there was something that those old teachers were not doing and doing right. In fact, I would remember the head teacher. He used to have to use very vulgar language and abusive words, especially to the boy child. In fact, some names I cannot mention. So, because of the difference that was made by this lady teacher, I knew there were many children who struggle in their education life just because of a teacher. In fact, there is no stupid learner. There are only poor teachers. So it gave impetus to my desire to want to open a school that would take cognizance of the fact that you can mess up a life, or you can make a life just because of the way you handle or you treat a learner. So for a long time, it was my desire to be part and parcel of that education system. And that's how I actually ended up opening the school. But before then, I would want to take you back to the day when I finished high school, my A-levels. I went to teach in a girls' high school as an untrained teacher. And the girls who had an encounter with me, up to date, they still talk about their teacher. And those are many years back. In fact, about 39 years ago now. Yeah, so I think that was the genesis of my desire to have or to be part and parcel of the education system. I cannot say in one word. It's a combination of many leadership styles. You hear of aristocracy, you hear of authoritarian leadership, you talk of democratic leadership, there's laissez-faire. I would actually sum up my leadership style as a mixture of laissez-faire and democracy, very little of the authoritarian style of leadership. I believe in giving my people a challenge and let them handle the challenge. I believe in equipping them with the resources that they need and then leave them to do their job. So I would say that is my leadership style. It's when it comes to education circles, even in the delivery of learning in a classroom, where we have the heuristic method of learning. Well, it's a mixture of teacher-centered and learner-centered style of delivering instruction. So for me, again, my leadership style, I would say it is both democratic and laissez-faire. And I also incorporate that with the coaching style of leadership. I will ask my people questions and not necessarily give them answers and let them come up with their own solutions. Because you do not develop leadership traits by spoon-feeding people. Let them come up with their own ways of doing it. Let them make discoveries. And that is, I would say that is also what our new education system is trying to achieve. Make learners make discoveries through their own ways. I would talk about three things: discipline, passion, perseverance. You find that many people will start business and it grows very fast and then it starts going down very fast. It is lack of discipline, starting especially with financial discipline. Without financial discipline, you fail in business, especially when you receive a lot of cash. That money received is not for me to put in my pocket. It is to plow back into the business so that it can service salaries, it can pay other services, especially that are outsourced. We can buy food, we can pay for fuel, we can plow back a bit of that money for infrastructure development. We can plow back that money to either investments, like put aside reserves. So I would actually say that my greatest pillar has been in the area of financial discipline. I've seen schools seem like they can actually claw into our territory, but soon after they fizzle out. So I'd say that is one of the things that has really paid off. Then I talked about perseverance. We have persevered a lot of tribulations, both by the competitors, by the community around, by the regulators, by fake press or media, but we've never given up. Sometimes we've gone through tribulations through our own clients that we serve. That's the parents. Here we are, still going strong and knowing that you can never really work in an environment that doesn't have all those dynamics. So we keeping on. Then the third thing I talked about was passion. I want to say that we have a passion for excellence. And this is, I think, one of the things that has also propelled us to grow and grow very fast. Talk about excellence in the delivery of instruction, produce top candidates. This school has at one time produced 13 best candidates in the top 100 list, nationally, not just in Nairobi. And apparently that was my vision. If we were able to retrieve some of the letters that I did to the parents, before we even start our KCPE, I told them my desire, my vision is to become one of the leading providers of education and excellence in education, not only in Nairobi, but the whole country. And I would say that dream has been realized in my lifetime. In whatever you do it small, but do it well. So what you're seeing today is as a result of doing it with patience, doing it carefully, and also incrementally. So that is how we like to do things here. For a long time, we didn't even want to venture into high school. But sometimes these things, they're shaped by the Almighty. Like now there is CBC coming, and we are having 2 classes scrapped. That is class 7 and 8. And they're becoming junior high schools. So what does that call for us to do? Is to actually think of a junior high school. And when you have a junior high school, where do you take those students when they graduate from junior high school? You have to think of a high school. So right now we're actually working on our strategic plan 2021-2025. And that is one of the things that we envision, to have not only a junior high school, but a high school, so that we are able to take care of the children who graduate from grade 6 going to grade 7 and 8 and 9 as junior high schoolers. This is what I would like to say. The nurturing of a learner, don't just think about academics. Think about the development of the whole child, that holistic development. And that would be in the area of sports, in the area of agriculture, in the area of academics. Look at all those areas and look at the talents that the child has and develop that, work on it, and start early. I envision a time when we shall have a center that can be able to come up with all those activities so that we expose the learner at a very early age to all that he's capable of doing. So that is my dream, and how I wish that parents would know that these children are not just about the 3 R's, that is reading, writing, arithmetics. That's a theory in the psychology of learning. But that they can also embrace the talents that naturally are within each and every individual that is sent into this world. There is something that I say that, everybody that has come into this world was sent for a purpose from heaven. And that's a sort of a parcel that you unwrap and give to the world piece by piece until when you're ready to go back to your maker who sent you here, you actually go back empty. So each and every person, if you only took time, there is a purpose, there is a talent that is within you. And all that you need to do is ignite it and bring it out so that the world can benefit. One of the things that I think I have come to appreciate is the fact that, at times we adorate ourselves. And I think as human beings, we feel like we are imposters. But the truth is, when the world outside looks, they can be able to see what I have achieved. But for me, because I was doing what I was supposed to do, I would probably underrate or undervalue my achievements. But now, in retrospect, I can be able to see that I have actually significantly contributed. But this I do with humility and with a lot of acknowledgement. I would say, really, truly, in that sense, I'm an imposter, because the real force behind is actually the Almighty God, because nothing can you be able to do without Him. And that's what I said in the beginning. He's the ultimate authority. So one of the things I've learned to do is to have humility, because when I look around, there are those who started schools and they had a lot of money, they didn't succeed. Tender Care started from a three-bedroom rental house. It's grown at one point to 6 campuses with only one rental, all the others owned. We started with my own car, then I would take a matatu to work. Today we are running a fleet of 16 buses and vans. And when I look, I don't credit myself with all that. I say there is a force behind me. Even though I have been used as a vessel in God's hands to come up with what you can now see. But I would also want to acknowledge the fact that I have not done this alone. It is through the efforts of my co-director, who plays a significant role, that is Teacher Ruth. I have done it through the efforts of the people we have employed. I have done it through the goodwill and the prayers of the stakeholders, namely the parents, and including my own parents, who I think have given me blessings and whom I take care of today. So it is a combination of a lot of realization and awareness on who truly I am, and the fact that behind me there is a force that is greater, a hand that leads me.